Okay, so hello everybody. We should be online now. I guess, as usual, I need to switch off the sound on my own broadcast so they don't hear it. Okay, it's off. Good. So the finals has started 5 minutes ago. So far, people have opened different problems. Yeah, actually, 4 people started from the easy problem, then XUDY started with a medium, and Torres started with a hard. Hi, Misha. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, everyone.
So this is Misha. We're also waiting for Pavel. So the other Pavel, Pavel Kunyavsky, who has been eliminated in the semi-final, unfortunately, told me that it was actually the plan all along for Torres to start with the 1000. And Makoto told that after some calculations, he decides that starting with 300 and 450 is better. I'm not sure what exactly he has calculated. So one feature of today's contest is that I have been given access to problems. So actually, I can go to a special room and see the problems and even submit them. So maybe we can
going to write the code?
Sorry?
Are you going to write the code for the problems?
Yeah, we could.
All right.
Okay, so far, can you see the problem statement, Misha?
Yeah.
Or should I read it aloud?
I can see that.
So, a group of N rabbits is about to have dinner. And we need to split into several tables. And for each rabbit, you know how many rabbits must be in its group, at most. And the question is, how many ways are there to divide them into groups? And there are 2000 rabbits.
Like the ways are different if the sets of rabbits on each
basically,
table.
if there's a pair of rabbits that are in the same set in one and not in the same set in the other.
Okay.
Okay, sounds nice.
That was a live look in at
and probably easy to make test cases. I like such problems where it's easy to make test cases.
We do not have any submissions to any of the challenges. We'll check in on the
So any submissions in it so far? No. Oh, I guess it's wrong. I should open the results of the official round. Yeah, not much going on there. So how do we solve this one?
My guess.
Only Torres, I think, would do in the finals.
Yes, my guess it's going to be very still.
Okay, I'll probably switch off the sound from the official broadcast.
Working on that paper.
Because there is too much sound.
Oh, yeah.
So there we can see that Torres is still staring at the statement of the 1000. So what do we do with this problem?
I have no ideas at this point.
So
you naturally want to consider all the rabbits like by increasing of the numbers, but
yeah,
what does it give you? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's true. Even though yeah, not clear. So if there is a number 1 there, then we can easily separate it out. But I guess it doesn't help much.
If everyone is 2, then it's like the number of matchings in the complete graph.
It's called like double factorial, right? So product of all odd numbers.
No, that can't be. Like for 3, the answer is 4, right?
For 3, the answer is, I think, 3. Basically, first rabbit has to be in pair with somebody. Oh, they can be groups of size 1 as well. Yeah. So if both groups are size
fewer than X.
Yeah. So there's even more choices. Okay, so and it's 300, so
it's like you kind of want to assign the rabbit with the largest number to each table, so that if you choose everyone else, then it's kind of independent. Maybe.
Except for it's still like there's a limit of number of rabbits that go into.
Yeah.
Or actually no, it's actually a good point. So only smaller ones kind of matter.
I was thinking about the smallest.
Yeah, can we just do this DP? Or what's missing? So we go make groups by taking the next largest number in a group. And then we remember how many rabbits are still unassigned. So what's wrong with the solution?
Yeah, so you consider the first few rabbits, and then you use the fact that if you have chosen several larger rabbits,
you just need to know how many are left.
Any way possible, then all configurations are like equally likely to be happening.
So we can solve this one, right?
Yep.
Not so hard. Let me try to implement it maybe quickly.
Okay.
Okay, a rabbit and table. Okay, so our state will be how many ways to get AI is how many ways to get I empty rabbits after considering first some amount. And then we sort. Thanks.
Dimensions, right?
Sorry?
Like how many rabbits have you processed from the beginning, and also how many do you have to take from everything from?
Yeah, but I can just use two arrays, right? So I don't need to have quadratic array.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so this will be the new. Oh, and we need, of course, modular.
Yeah, you also need binomials.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how I usually code. Probably a bit faster to copy paste.
You have like a helper with built-in binomials or something.
Where, sorry? Yeah, we have 4 million binomials, so I guess we can avoid %, just in case. Yeah, my computer is not happy with the amount of work it's doing.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
I wonder if stream is lagging as well or not. Yeah, my computer is not happy with the amount of work it's doing. Yeah.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
I wonder if stream is lagging as well or not. Pasha, we have an echo from your stream again. Yeah.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Oh.
Stream is lagging as well. Pasha, we have an echo from your stream again. I guess I can open the chat in a new window and maybe close the stream to reduce the load on my machine.
Do you know statements?
Yeah. So I have access to actually submit problems even. Thanks to Gauyan. So we have solved the first problem and now we're implementing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect first submissions on that within a few minutes.
Okay, so
it's easy, right?
Yeah. So either we don't take this one, in which case we kind of just basically add one more unused element. Right. And then if we take this one. Sorry?
The screencast is still showing Gena staring at the very same.
Yeah, probably 1000 is not so simple. Okay, and
I
then
reckon.
how many we take? We must take at most max. Oh, but the solution is now cubic. Maybe it's okay. 2000.
How is it? Let me
Because
think. Yeah. Okay.
I guess we could use, as usual, when we have sum with combination numbers, we can use FFT, but
We probably shouldn't.
we probably shouldn't exactly. That's a really good point.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me write the cubic one and then we can split it up. So here we say okay, so this one is how much we take. And
So,
then
is the problem is that about rabbit? Oh yeah. Ah yeah.
Yeah.
I can read your solution. Okay. I just print screen this statement from someone's. Okay.
oh, that's good. So yes, so basically we iterate how many we had. And then we say b old minus take. We add old minus take plus number of ways to choose from old to take, right? Times a old. And here we convert to long, and in the end we convert to int. And in the end we return this, right? So this should be the solution, but it's too slow. No submissions so far on the scoreboard?
Not yet.
Okay, doesn't
No.
work. Too big.
Scott will compile his solution.
So for 333 we output 4 instead of 5. Here max should not even matter. Okay, I'm confused. Why is this not working?
Why is 5? What's different is?
We just need any way to split them into groups, essentially. So one way to put them all in one group, one way to put them all in separate groups, and 3 ways to have a one pair.
Why are you considering the case when the current rabbit could have been taken in one of the previous tables?
I just add one, right? So no, it can't be taken in previous tables, right? Because I'm looking at the last one in the group. So here I just copy with shifting by 1.
But like your dimension is how many people are taken.
How many unassigned rabbits are there that need to be put into following groups?
Yeah, but like the second rabbit could have been taken by the first, right?
Why?
Well, if the first was the smallest, so let's say his number is 2, so he takes himself and someone after him.
Oh no, I'm going in the opposite direction. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong, by the way. Yeah, I should sort them in reverse direction. Go from larger number to smaller numbers. But in this case, it won't matter.
Why not?
Because all numbers are too big. They don't impose any. First, all of them are equal.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but I should go in increasing order, that's true.
Java swap.
Pavel Konyavsky says that XUDYH is writing some code in 450. Okay, so... Okay, let's see what
Scott has submitted.
This one? Scott has submitted this one, right? Okay, so after we've taken first rabbit, either it's in a group by itself or it's still free. So there is one way to get each. Makes sense? Now after passing 2 rabbits, we have 2 ways to have all of them assigned to groups, which makes sense. 2 ways to have 1 free rabbit and 1 way to have 2 free rabbits. Also makes sense. And now we have 4 ways, it says, to put them all in a group. It's kind of strange because it should be the sum of all the old numbers. Oh, I see. It should be equal here. Yeah, that's a stupid bug. Okay, now it works. So I guess we can submit and get time limit exceeded. I assume. Or maybe... No. Ah.
Here it goes.
Almost there. This case is not very complicated. So, how to speed it up to a quadratic solution?
Maybe we can like delay the choice. What is the actual number of that we choose here? And I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, I think it's just these 2 loops this should have some standard way of optimization into.
Okay.
But I forgot.
You could probably move some factorials or something.
And inverse factorials. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. Here we have something like old factorial divided by take factorial divided by old minus take factorial, right? So old factorial we can move into a old. No, but we still need Fourier, right? So to get, oh no.
Maybe like the answer is the product of some polynomials, and then we're okay.
Sorry, what? I didn't get this part.
Okay, I'm not sure. I need to write some formulas.
So somebody submitted this one, right? Scott Wu.
Yes.
So we are slower than Scott Wu. That probably doesn't say anything bad about us. Scott Wu is really good. We also started 5 minutes later. So how to speed this one up?
Can we simply multiply it by factorial? No?
The problem is that here there's also take factorial, right? So old factorial and old minus take factorial we can handle separately, but take factorial kind of ruins things.
But factorial is outside of this cycle, maybe.
Yeah, old minus take is outside of this cycle. Oh, but you mean that take... Yeah, but we modify different elements, right, here. So...
Different elements, that's true.
So I'm not sure we can avoid this easily. And this cycle goes up to a different element every time. So... yeah, should be some simple speed up, but I somehow don't see it.
You can represent the answer as a coefficient of
Oh, and
some.
too difficult submitted 310. Answer coefficient of what, sorry?
I think I can represent the answer as a coefficient in the product of some polynomials.
Okay. Big ones?
Well, it's like n polynomials and the degrees are the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that helps.
Well, we can again use fast Fourier transform, but hopefully it's not needed in 300, right?
Hopefully. We only need the nth coefficient. Maybe we can do that.
Yeah, but this helps only the last multiplication, right? So it's the fact that we need only one coefficient. So on the official broadcast, empty screen or just I got it I played past plates. Okay, I guess I probably need to refresh it to get it to a current state. No, tourist staying at the problem statement. Same state.
Well, he's scrolling now.
Is he? Oh, scrolling. Yeah, I thought you said coding. Oh yeah, he is coding actually something. Oh no, it's not him, that's Makoto, and he's coding this problem. And he seems to have a cubic solution implemented as well. So... yeah, no, maybe he already sped it up even. Yeah, but it doesn't work so far. Okay, so he fixed the solution and he's looking which problem Tourist has opened. Interesting. Oh, so Tourist opened two problems actually, I didn't realize. Okay, so should we try to read some other problem maybe?
Okay. I think I have like a rough idea how to solve this one, but
Yeah, maybe we can come back to it later. We are not in the contest. We have freedom. Okay, so what about 450? Okay, so Alice and Bob are playing a game. Each cell can contain 1 or 0 tokens, and each tokens are of two types. Basically, there's a string of A's, B's, and dots. And Alice moves an A token to the left, and Bob moves B token to the left, and whoever is not unable to move loses the game. Also sounds like a very simple and nice problem statement, but now some cells are unknown. So they can be any of the three. And find how many boards where you can replace the unknown character by any of the three, the first player wins.
alright. The constraints are?
Oh, sorry. 50.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Alice moved first? Is it written somewhere? Oh yeah, Alice plays first.
Okay, how do we solve for a given board?
Without question marks.
Yeah.
I guess we can split into kind of blocks of A's and blocks of B's basically. And
it's like when A is followed by B, then basically, like if there are 3 characters between them, then Bob has like X3 moves, because if Alice uses her A, if Alice moves her A, then Bob can immediately move his B.
Yeah.
Or
I think
something.
more generally, like, a player wins if we can find, like, a character for him which he will never move, essentially, so that there is a character such that if this player makes... Oh, no, but it's not... No. That's
No,
not...
it's just numbers game, so we need to count how many moves each player has. Something like this.
No, but they're not independent, right? So one player can...
We don't know like what is the final configuration. Okay, the final configuration is when all B's are immediately after A's, right?
Yeah. Or other B's.
Yeah. Is it true that that determines the parity of the number of moves?
No, why?
I'm not sure.
If they're alternating, then maybe, but then if they're alternating, then I guess Bob always wins. But if there are several B's in a row, then it's not so simple anymore. Okay, how can Bob lose? So Alice moves some A. Oh, I guess if the next character later, after some dots, is also A, then Bob didn't get any new moves.
Is it true that the game is equivalent when the tokens are allowed to pass through each other?
Why? No.
Okay, no.
So I guess basically each player has some moves that do not give out moves to a second player, which they will always play out first, right? After this, configuration will be like blocks of several A's, several dots, one last A, then several B's, several dots, one last B. Like this is a kind of configuration where any player with a move gives some move to another player. And maybe it's true that first player that has to give a move to another player always loses? Or, no, or it's not true. If it's true, then we can solve this.
What do you mean by giving turn?
Sorry?
What do you mean by giving a turn to another player?
Basically, first player that has to move a token that for which the next token to the right belongs to another player. Basically, increase the number of available moves for the other player. If a player has to do it, then he loses.
How can you increase the number of moves?
So let's say my configuration is .ab, right? So
Yes.
when I move my A, now second player has a move because he can move B. Before he couldn't move his B.
They move in the same direction?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I was
Yes, they move in the same direction.
I was solving another problem.
Sorry. Yeah, second sample is also nice. So 3 question marks B. The only winning position for the second player is .aab, which kind of confirms my suspicion, right? So basically here, Alice has more moves that do not give moves to Bob than Bob. And in all other cases, I guess it's at least equal. So basically the point is that as soon as you give a move to another player, you kind of have to keep doing that, right? So the second player will always have moves and then you will lose. Yes, it's kind of obvious, right? So basically we just have to count the number of moves like this.
Yes, right.
And so basically we kind of find every group of consecutive first group of consecutive
And
A's.
What are constraints? Can we calculate the number
50.
of moves like this? 50. So we may have like 50 square moves, right?
Yes, so guess what is our DP now? What is our DP state? So we kind of... Oh, we have to remember the difference between number of moves
Yes, I think it's
available. And we have to remember kind of the current block somehow, or we don't have to.
No, the last letter, I think, which we had.
Last letter, A or B, and also kind of how many times the next letter could move to the left, right? So how many moves does the next letter add? Yeah, how many moves does the next letter add, essentially, that would be.
Maybe we can... No. Well, is it also... No, it's
That's 50, should be fine, I think.
It's 50 in 4th degree or something.
Yeah, so okay. My second attempt at an implementation? Or do you want to read the hard?
Why not? I would read the hard, actually, and then try to implement it.
Okay, sure. But then our score will be low. Wait, how do I do it? I guess I need to close this problem and open the 1000. Okay, so 1000 Fox Seal has just learned a new skill. She can now split into copies of herself. So...
Oh, no, I can read.
So...
Oh, Fox Seal, yes, I can now read.
Okay, can you read and explain the problems? And I'll implement this for 50. So far we have one more submission on... Yeah, but we actually saw the submission from Makoto. So Torres still has no submissions, but we can see that he is still staring at this problem, not coding, or maybe coding but switched. Interesting. Torres seems to be a bit stumped.
Can you show me the statements of how to...
1000?
Just one. Yes, I want just to copy it.
Oh, I thought you already did it. Okay.
I tried, but I'm not fast enough. Okay. Yep, it's good. What about constraints?
Yeah. 500 and coordinates up to 100.
Cool. Good. I get it.
Okay, yeah, I think this one is kind of clear. But okay, maybe I'm again. It will be too slow again or something. So I guess maximum.
Maybe you could explain the solution one more time.
Yeah. So suppose first we don't have question marks, right? So then we count the kind of we count only moves which do not give any moves for second player. Basically, in each group of A's, last A cannot move. And in each group of B's, last B cannot move.
Okay.
Group means with some dots in the middle as well.
Except the last group.
Except the last group, yes, in which all of them can move. Yeah. So then we count how many moves they have. So basically, in each group, all A's except the last one will move to the left as much as possible, and we count the number of moves. And then whoever has more moves wins. And in case of equality, Bob wins.
Okay.
So now we just do a DP that counts this number. Wait, it remembers the difference between Alice moves and Bob moves. Like which group are we now in? And how many more moves would place in another letter of this group at? So how many dots essentially are there have already passed?
Do you want to go from the beginning or from the end?
From beginning I was going to.
Okay.
Because we move to the left, so if we go from beginning, we know by how much we move. That's kind of cool. So maximum balance would be something like 25 squared, right? I guess. Yeah, probably. So my state would be
Pasha,
again.
could you send me the statements of the hard?
Yep, I read the statement of the hard. It looks nice.
Maybe you can explain it, or it's not so simple.
It's,
while I'm coding.
It's like this. Can you listen while coding?
Well, Misha can listen.
Okay, I will drop it to the. We don't have chat. So.
Oh wait, that's the heart. Why we don't have a chat? We do. The one that has the video call.
Ah, it's possible to send them.
Yeah. Should be
Okay.
somewhere in Hangout window. Okay, so whose turn it is? How many dots in the current group? Which will be at most 50. And then what is the current balance? So 2 times max balance plus 1. And then we will have another array for the next state after the next position. And in the beginning, I guess we can be either in A group or in B group. We have 0 dots so far, and our balance is 0, which means max balance.
We want to look in the comments on YouTube.
Sorry?
There is some maybe hard case.
Oh, that's a good point. If we move at A to the left, then B moves to the left, then we have a move. Interesting, and then B loses. Yeah. Thanks for noticing. So, yeah. We need to maybe adapt our solution somehow. So, the cool thing is, even though I had to give a move...
I think in this case, actually, in this case, both players have 0 turns in our model. So we can move A, but he cannot move B.
Yeah, but you can adapt the solution, I guess, to actually A have 1 more turn somewhere before, but still he would... Oh no, then he would win, yeah. Yeah, but players have 0 turns, but not Bob wins, right? So Alice moves, Bob moves, and now Alice has 3 turns. But is it only a problem when the balance is exactly 0 or not?
I think it's not a problem at all.
So wait, why it's not a problem?
What's the problem?
So initially I assume that when the number of free moves is equal, Bob wins. In this case, Alice wins.
Okay.
And even if Bob had 1 free move, so for example, if you add dot B to this thing, Alice still wins. Maybe if you have 4 A's, but something like this.
Yeah, so apparently when we arrive to the point when we have to give the move to another person, then the number of moves that we give to them is like equal to the size of the group that follows it.
I think the problem is that the group of the size 1, essentially. If the group that we give the move to is of size 2, then they can just do this move and not give us any free moves back. So we will essentially lose, eventually lose. So the problem is with groups of size 1, it seems. So maybe if you have a group of size 1, we can kind of disregard it together with the next character, because they always kind of move together. This character and that character do the same. So we have A, B, and then again A. Then they just kind of, whenever the first A moves, the second B moves, and does that, nothing changes.
Well, in this case, B is followed by 3 A's, so moving this B like gives 3 moves to first player. So
Yeah, which means that it doesn't make sense to move it at all.
Well, unless we're forced to.
Yeah.
I am not sure.
Yeah, but basically, by the time we're forced to, we lose, right? Because when we move it, first player always has a move, so it means we are forced again, and first player will get more moves. So essentially, this B should never move. Oh,
Well,
so
we can have the same game, but in the opposite direction in some other part of the board.
no, there's no, like, they're all in the same direction. That's kind of the point.
Well, like this group, like inverted with some spaces between them, and then we have the same game again, basically.
No, but the thing is, A will not have to play his bad group. So if B has to play this one first, he plays, A plays. What does B do next? So A will play in the same group. If they will never come to the second group. Right?
Well, I can't exactly follow, but maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe I guess I was wrong once already. But in this case, what seems to be true is that we can just kind of say that if the next group has only one element, then the previous group doesn't have to keep its last character, essentially. It can move it as well. Because if B has to move this B character in this case, he will lose. So it is always, we can assume that this B never moves.
I'm in the state of reserved disbelief with regard to this solution.
Sorry?
I kind of like moderately disbelieve this solution. But fun.
Yeah. What's on the scoreboard so far?
I think pretty much the same. Yeah.
So XUDYH is looking at 1000, right? So he didn't do 250.
Yes, he didn't open the 300.
Okay, 300, yeah. No, I think I still believe the solution. So basically, I guess what we have to do again, to reiterate, is okay, if all groups are at least of size 2, then my old solution works. Now there are some groups of size 1, right? So we can take it alternating pattern, A, B, A, B, A, and then some group of size 2. So let's say A, B, A, B, A, A. Then here in this part of the board, player A dominates. So essentially we can say that in his first group, which has one A, and before that there were two Bs. So in his first group, which has one A, he can move this A to the left. He kind of gets extra free moves because he can move this A. Because if B has to move, then A can repeat his moves always. So basically, the extra moves that B gets are for nothing, essentially.
Yes, what if this series ends with another character? Like, if you start with A and...
Sorry?
And have... What if this series ends with another group of characters? Like, if it ends with a group of Bs?
Yeah, then B dominates in the group. So if we say BB, then A, B, A, B, B, for example. Then A doesn't have any free moves, so this works then as the same way as the old solution. So let's add some dots, right? So we have, let's say, BB dot A dot B dot A dot BB, right? Then I claim that in this group B has one free move to move his B in the middle. Actually, two free moves to move his two of Bs, but A doesn't have any free moves. So
yeah, looks so.
Basically, every time A moves, he just gives moves to B, more moves to B. At least the same amount of moves to B, essentially. So we can kind of disregard those. So yeah, we need to update solution a bit. So I guess we will still remember like kind of which group are we counting. So basically this group has to end with at least 2 of this kind. The current group has to end with at least 2 of the kind we are counting. And then somebody says Torres has started coding B.
Yep.
Now
I like the 1000.
and in this group we can still place A's, but they have to be at most 1 of the A's. So I guess we should remember whether the last one we placed was A or B. And we need to remember the number of dots since the last character of the opposite. So basically here we have A dot B, and we need to remember dot start since last A. And this allows us to count the available moves, it seems. And what happens in the end? So if it ends with AB, AB without any repetitions, yeah, I guess still B dominates this group. So we can kind of say that whoever has the last character also has a character after it, but it doesn't give the moves. This has to be kept fixed, essentially. Can you shift chat box to the right? I can, but that allows us to see team instead of will, essentially. So, yeah. Okay, so so it means that my state, it changed it by I now have another dimension, like what was the last character? Which group am I building and what was the last character? And in the beginning, the last character was, I assume it was from another group, right? So, yeah. So, and I have 0 dots and I have 0 balance. So in the beginning I have this. And now I iterate over pattern. And here we have basically choices. What do we put here? A, B, or dot. And we have to update. So first we fill B with zeros. Reset, yeah. Filling a multidimensional array with zeros in Java is not so simple. Right, and now we, okay, place dot, place, or we place a character. Okay, we can just make a loop. So -1 would be dot, and 0 and 1 would be characters. And now we iterate over what was the old state. So for int block type, so we have the block type when we have last character. Then we have number of dots. And then we have balance. Okay, so
I believe 1000 is almost straightforward.
sounds good. I guess you can explain while I'm quoting this one.
You have, well, long story short, you have a polynomial and 2 variables over field of order 2. And you have to factorize it into expressions like 1 plus x to the x to some degree times y to some degree. not exactly polynomial, it can have negative degrees. But I believe that like factorization should be unique, probably. And then you have to shift something around, but it's like as long as the factorization is unique up to the fact that we can negate the plus x to a times y to the b is basically the same as 1 plus x to the minus a y to the minus b up to a shift.
I don't get it. So where did you get the polynomial?
Like, so for a configuration, for point that has odd number of foxes, if the point is xy, then you add the monomial x, like, okay, the point with coordinates a, b, you add the monomial x to the 8th plus y to the b. Okay, and then you, like, when you shift along the x dy, then you multiply by the by 1 plus x to the dx to the dy. Okay.
Okay.
And since everything modulo 2, then it works apparently.
It's polynomial of two variables, and it's quite big. So how can you plan to factorize it?
Well, assuming that the factorization is unique, which it probably is, you can just try to divide it by like elementary monomials, like 1 plus elementary monomial. I think so.
So you divided it, and what next? Check if it's okay.
I think I just go on and divide. I'm not sure. As long as the factorization is unique and like the product of these expressions does not is not divisible by anything else, then it's just straightforward. You just divide as long as you can.
Is it possible to go stuck at some point? Like you divide and then after some get to the state which is not divisible by anything.
If we knew the vectors, then we could divide, right? And we couldn't get the wrong answer. Am I right? Okay, the factorization is not unique since, for example, if p is an expression like x to something plus y to something, then y plus p squared is the same. 1 plus p squared is the same as just 1. So it's not exactly unique, but it doesn't matter, right? Apparently.
Okay, I think I'm done now. I just need to find the answer. And I'm counting something twice, which is sequence of all dots. I counted twice. Okay, so I need the one winning for Alice, which means that balance should be negative. Pavel Kuniavsky said that he and X-Ray and Umnik have solved 1000.
Yeah, I also think I solved 1000. Turn look, so I'm not sure.
Do you want to implement? Or it's not so simple?
Well, it's easy to implement, but how do I submit or something?
You can send it to chat. I will submit for you.
Could try, I guess.
If you want. No.
Well.
Okay, so all dots will handle separately. So here for...
I think it will be faster to explain it to you.
But because first you need to wait until I finish this one.
Fairly easy.
Okay, so here we do the same loop over all current states. But balance goes only, it should be negative, so it should be less than max balance. So what we need is, I guess, so I guess roughly we need this, but it will not work because there are some corner cases. I assume. Yeah, it will definitely not work. But should work on
all this stuff with the corner cases makes me think that that's more complicated solution that you would expect from 450.
No, but so far it's very simple, right? So far there's no corner cases. Now I need to just basically the cases that don't work now are where there is no two of the same type, right? So the entire sequence is alternating A's and B's. So these are the cases which I'm not handling correctly now, I think. And in this case, so we have something like A.B.A.B. Then I guess whoever has the last character wins, something like this.
Well, if they're all like stacked to the left, then the first loses. Right?
No, so basically no, how can the first one win? I don't think he can. He always loses.
No, like if it's A, B, and B, and B, and it's the prefix, then the first one loses regardless of what is the last character.
No, why? Sorry, can you repeat again?
It's like if the whole string is A, B, and B, and A, B, then the first one loses because there are no moves.
Yeah, so the one who wins, the one who has last character is B. Oh, if it's another A, then you're saying that then first player, because he has to move, right? So that's kind of the problem. So yes, this is the case it doesn't. But all the other nice cases kind of work. Well, no, actually all the simple cases work now.
Meanwhile, there are only 19 minutes left.
Yeah. Well. So what's going on in the contest, or it's not so interesting?
Maybe yes. I should tell you the solution. RNG compiled his second problem.
Yeah, but he seems to have something like we do. He has the same DP, I think. Maybe not many cases. And for him it passes examples. So his solution is better than ours. Yeah, but why does my solution not work in this cases? Okay, let's start with something simple. Let's remove the difficult cases so far. Let's say our pattern is 1 question mark, right? So how many cases A wins? Never, I guess, right?
0.
0. Okay, that's easy. 2 question marks. I guess.
You're asking hard questions. I believe 1.
Dot A, right?
Yep.
So what's the scoreboard now? Okay, so Makoto will submit the medium probably at some point. And Gennady still no submissions. Okay, so this works. Okay, now most difficult case, 3 question marks. So how can A win in this case? Okay, if there are no B's and at least 1 dot to the left of A, then A wins.
Yeah, so it's 4 plus something.
Why
No,
4? It's dot A, dot AA, dot A dot, A dot A. Yeah, 4. Good point. How did you find it so quickly? And then if there is a B...
Dot is a loose, right?
Dot is a loose, yes, because A cannot move.
It's dot A dot A and dot AA. It's 3.
No.
And also dot A dot A.
Yeah,
I
dot A,
missed
4.
one case, but I did one another, so...
And then there is also dot AB. Oh no, dot AB he wins. Oh, so I guess the other case where he wins is B dot A, where with a B and A still wins.
Yeah, it's probably the last one.
Yeah, so 5. Okay, so I guess this is where my solution will stop working, because it has a lot of alternating cases, which I don't handle correctly.
Yeah, range is submitted, and
yeah, my solution
CIP seemingly submitted the second.
So my solution says 4, so it doesn't see one of those cases. So which one? Okay, let me just print. Let's see what it finds. And which one does it miss? Oh wait, what is max balance? Yeah, I should do this.
Yeah, hopefully tourist is not using his coder tactic to submit everything in the last one.
Oh, I guess I'm missing the B.A case because I cannot do it because I cannot start a block of type A with A. Yeah, so I'm missing something simple in the beginning, right? So now I can block will be of type A.
Yeah, but if it's like dot B dot A, then A still wins, I suppose.
Yes. So this I can, but I cannot start a block of type A with a B. So here B.A, block, the last character is A, so this is a block of type A, but it started with a B and I cannot do it. So, with a single B, I mean. So, how to handle this? If I allow this always. Yeah, I guess I can just allow it separately to even start, I mean like start in the very beginning, right? So I can just allow this particular start. So essentially I would just do it completely separately. Okay, so here we say that B block type. Okay, so here we say if block type is not equal to what? Okay, equals 1 minus what? Then we have an additional block type what 0 max balance. We just add 1.
Scott Wu seems ready to submit, I think. I'm not sure. They just flip over from his screen, so couldn't see what's happening.
Okay, it's still 4. Okay, I removed the printout. Or why did I remove the printout? That was stupid. Maybe it's still on clipboard? No.
Gena has now opened all 3 problems. He just
Yeah.
opened the easy one.
It can still give him a very good place. Maybe not the first one.
Yeah, that might end badly.
Yeah. No, maybe not the first one with 2 problems for Makoto. So Oleg has a Snark News website in which he says basically that Makoto has won all contests, all TCOs he has participated in. So the streak seems to continue, at least judging from the current standings. Like literally all of them. Oh, I shouldn't modify A, I should modify B, of course. Okay, now well, I remove the 2 most difficult tests. Okay, so now the only test that doesn't work is all question marks. And I bet my answer is off by 1. Oh no, actually not. Yeah, actually it's interesting. So how much it is off? A lot or not? Oh no, it's actually not all. Oh wait, all question marks works. That's interesting. How can it be? That it works correctly for all question marks, but not for this test? It means that somewhere I'm not testing. Okay, that's really interesting. So this test passes. I guess it means that somewhere I'm not testing that something is possible, right?
The simple made a very fast submit on the easy for roughly 270. So he's now comfortable in first place.
Why
Well, things change.
why should min but not max? What happened?
Because max is already
Max
1. Well, I guess, yeah. Probably will be nicer to write it like this.
I got it. Yeah. That's correct.
So this solution I only do for what, right? So if what is -1, I will never do it. So yeah, that's really curious. So how can it work for all question marks, but not for this case? It means really somewhere I'm putting a disallowed character, right? So
Looks like because
but where?
Yes, you say more than.
Maybe A and B are mixed. That can be explanation, I guess. No. This is worse.
Ken is staring at the statement of the first problem now. We are still not sure how to optimize this solution, right?
No. But we didn't think, at least I didn't think about it that much. But still, how can it not pass only this case? This doesn't make any sense to me, to be frank. If it counts this large number of question marks correctly, it means that in general, I don't have any missing cases. I just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, no, here. So what is missing 0 is a dot. And then we don't do anything else. Otherwise, we depending on what character it is, we do some logic. Any ideas? Yeah, probably would have performed not very well on this final either. Well, how can it not work? Only on this case, and it works in some cases with A's and B's, yeah, like .ab. Okay, let's try some case. We have this tricky case b.a, right? And then here a wins. Does it? Can it get this case? Okay, this works. What if we have, let's say, a.a and a wins? Maybe let's add b question mark and also one winning case. Yeah, all this works. Well, not the, or even it.
What's the test case that doesn't work for you?
Yeah, it looks big. Something like this. I return more, and it means that I'm allowing some. Basically, my matching to question marks is not correct, because the case with a lot of question marks works fine. So it means I consider actually all cases correctly. Or it works by accident, of course. So here's my logic that deals with question marks. It's all here. So I'm a bit at a loss. How can it not work? Anybody in comments? now. And on the scoreboard, how much time left? 3 minutes.
Tourist now submits the cubic solution, I believe. Or maybe it's got some optimizations to it. So probably still cubic.
But maybe fast enough. He might have tested.
He's making some quick changes, as far as I can see.
Yeah, that seems cubic to me. No, this will time out. It seems cubic without much optimizations, to be frank. Really without much optimizations.
Well, if that's the only thing you are going to do in last 3 minutes, then it's as good as any.
Yeah. Still, we need to fix our solution in the last 2 minutes. What's wrong with it?
Maybe.
Maybe have reverse string or something. It doesn't look like. I just try to think what could possibly go wrong.
Oh, you mean that they have a wrong sample in this? No. Okay, let's cheat maybe and run system test. Maybe we'll get a smaller case it doesn't work, right?
A strategy of the winners.
Yeah. Debug submit. Okay, so we need to sort by problem.
That's the first problem, I think.
No, unfortunately, it didn't run any other cases.
Are there any other cases? Like, what's the percentages of the number of tests you pass?
It doesn't show it stops, basically, so... What? Something wrong?
Okay.
Must pass, right? Yeah, everything is so slow because of the streaming, I guess.
Yeah, can the stream become any better?
Okay, yeah. Not much simpler.
But it's kind of small, right?
Yeah, lots of A's and then one B.
A small number of
and just 2 question marks.
Yeah, so
A always wins.
The round is finished, I think.
14.
What do you mean 14 years? There are only 9. This doesn't look right. Sorry.
But maybe
oh, I see. I should do this only if previous ones could be all dots. Yeah, now I see.
I think at this point I'm going to leave you to your
okay.
Whatever you're doing.
Okay, now it works, obviously, but round is over. Can I still compile, I wonder?
Does it?
For me it shows that round is over, yes. Maybe the official stream is delayed, it could be.
Can I still submit in practice?
Yeah, now it works. Ah, stupid bug. Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to leave
yeah, it
now
compiles.
and leave you to the exciting challenge phase.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But at least we probably solved something.
Did we now?
Yay! Like a boss. A couple of debug submits and we're there. Yeah, not very good result. But at least I think the idea is correct, and I think the solution I saw from Makoto was doing exactly the same. And in the end, there are almost no. So this is kind of the only tricky case, which I got wrong, of course. Yeah, basically here I assume that this is the first character that is not a dot. And it can only happen if previous ones were all question marks. Yeah. I wonder, yeah. Okay. Well. So close. So we can I can actually look at the codes of people. I didn't use this feature, but I can. So what do they do? Yeah, it's a bit simpler than mine. Even though the DP is kind of with the same state. Also like balance and some number, I guess. Oh, but I guess, yeah. I guess his points at 0, 1 and 1, 0 are probably the same. So he can... Yeah, it's something similar. So for A, for B, and for dot. How does... No, it's actually simpler. Doing something much simpler. Much simpler. Oh, and this is what he used for stress, I guess. This win-lose function, which is not used now. So... what does he do again? So he just goes...
Okay, sorry guys, I'm really going to have to leave you now.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining anyway.
Yeah.
See you next year in the real TCO, I guess.
Hopefully. All right.
Okay. So yeah, he seems to be doing the following. So he has two variables, kind of this balance like we do, number of difference and number of moves, and current delta. And current delta changes like this: if we place an A, we add 1 and cap at 0. If we place a B, we subtract 1 and cap at 0 from the other side. Oh, I guess if we add A and it was negative, we jump to 0, otherwise we add 1. If we put B... Okay, so it seems that it's basically our solution without any special cases about exactly 1. I guess they somehow cancel out, and so this looks more like the solution I had in mind the first time.
Yeah,
but I guess it just kind of things kind of cancel out and it's all still correct. Yeah, basically they just don't have this idea that we need to find 2 of the same in a row. They just do the same as we do, but without any adjustments.
Looks like magic.
Yeah, but probably we can understand why it works.
Okay.
Okay, now. What do we have here? So, did Gennady submit cubic solution on this one?
The challenge phase, challenge phase also started, so can we...
So Gennady still not challenged? Okay, probably I should go to the room now, so they can see the challenge messages.
Yeah.
So, official broadcast shows that Gennady is not doing anything. I guess, well, what can you do with a cubic 250?
Challenge somebody? What to do in challenge phase?
Yeah, he doesn't
No,
seem...
he's doing something.
Oh, no, he's doing something, yeah. He's looking at the solution.
Uh-huh.
But 500,
Yes.
if it works on the samples, it should work. I mean, 450.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so it's like straightforward cubic. Why? Why does nobody challenge him?
Mm.
Yeah. Seems to be very straightforward. Well, I guess divide by 2 or something, but it should still easily time out. It's like 2000,
Yep.
not 1000.
Yes, final challenge by Scott.
Hmm?
It's challenged by Scott.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. And tourist writes, good job. Okay, so yeah, anything else that will fail? So how do we actually speed up this DP? Let's see. So he has combination numbers, and then yeah, somehow yes, it's a bit differently. And wait, this seems weird. So CV. So it's something like n squared log n. So he has CV equal and well, and then he subtracts I in this loop, where I is interesting.
So it's not square. Nice.
Yeah, so somehow it's n squared log n. Okay, some magic. What about Makoto? Linear solution? No, the same. Wow. It's the same. Interesting.
Maybe some known feature about.
No, probably that's just another way of looking at the problem. Gives you this n squared log n dp. And here's the same as well. Yeah. Also, Scott jumped into third place thanks to this challenge. Okay, this one we already read. So Makoto, yeah, seems to be doing the same also as we do, but without the special thing about length 2. So I guess, yeah, if we think about it a bit more, it will be correct. But it's essentially the same solution. It's just a bit more complicated for us. Yeah, and the same here. So yeah, it's all the same. I guess, my guess is nothing else will fail. So, yeah. Can we turn on the sound on the official broadcast?
Some flaw in there.
Yeah, so as Scott scrolls through there, let's see what RNG58 is doing. The defending champion currently sitting in second place. Looks like he's digging through XUTYH's 450 point problem as well. That problem did have 3 submissions against it, but he was the fastest, and that's why I think people might be thinking he may have missed something, since he went from that straight into another problem, didn't worry about testing. Look, as RNG58,
now Makoto is checking if somebody,
oh no,
how many people look at his submissions. That's a nice way to spend the challenge phase. But I guess to get first place he needs 3 challenges, so that's really unlikely.
Not a lot of reaction since that first challenge. There have been no challenges since then, so we will go take a look at the scoreboard. You can see here the only challenge so far made in the challenge phase was done by Scott Wu.
His only hope is that
one of the solutions of first place fails, and then he doesn't need any challenge.
Someone overflows something.
Yeah.
Strange thing.
Yeah,
overflow is
now,
interesting, yeah. Let's look at overflows, but I guess it's quite hard to. In C++, where you can just write a function
here in the challenge phase,
that takes a reference.
Like we said, we don't know what's going to happen in the system test round.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's just a lot of shocked faces around here seeing Taurus in the position that he is in. I do see a question in the chat, can Taurus challenge now? Yes, he can challenge others, and any points earned via challenge are guaranteed points. You can't lose the system.
Yeah, probably it is all correct. I mean, I don't see how this can be.
Someone has a successful challenge. Those are points.
Because again, there is a big test case in the samples, right? So if you have an overflow,
with guaranteed points in the books, but you have to assume that someone's going to pass system test, especially since none of these guys are finding any issues.
No, I think it should be fine.
Exactly. And for those of you who may be new to this, it's not like you can just put in any sort of input into their
Yeah, I think I can
code
understand.
and,
So why the
you know,
solution works.
do it
So
over and over again,
what we do in
because
our
as
solution,
you
we
attack
count
and they
the
defend, you're losing 25 points each time you do that. So
dots
need to be
between B,
careful,
if there's an
with how you
alternating
challenge
sequence AB and
someone else's
BAB,
code.
right? So we count dots for B to each A,
He has
right?
not made any challenges
But
yet.
then if we kind of count from B to the beginning and subtract the ones from A to the beginning, then we get the same answer. And that's what the naive solution does. So I guess, yeah, it's still the same.
It looks like he's hanging out.
So yeah, I guess that's why naive solution is identical to ours, just much simpler.
That says a lot. It might even show us which pieces of code will submit successfully to the system test. So we could be looking at the final score, but at the same time, maybe not.
Now, Scott Wu currently looking at XUTYH's 300 problem.
Yeah, it's a pity that Misha didn't implement the 1000. It would be cool if we could solve it during the round.
If his idea is correct about that the solution is unique, I think it can be implemented pretty fast, but I have no idea why it's correct.
BCIP is still in contention as well, so let's check in on BCIP.
So did you read the statement?
No, I guess we don't have anything much. Oh, somebody challenged.
Oh, we have a defense.
Oh, we do have a defense.
Somebody
It
checked
looks
the
like-
medium. Yeah, I guess this BCIP in fourth place didn't have much to lose, so yeah.
25-point ding against BCIP, who was just trying to make a move.
And I think he needed to make that move. If he didn't,
So what's the problem about
results may
again?
have stayed the same. So
Maybe it's easy to read the statement.
Okay,
The problem is you had some number of vectors.
I guess.
Now you construct all possible 2 power of n sums of these vectors.
Vectors of what?
Vectors of small integers.
Okay.
Now you
Okay.
construct all possible 2 power of n sums of these vectors.
Mm-hmm.
And you are given the vectors which occurs odd number of times in this set. Like build XOR of all of this.
Oh, okay. And
this is what you're given, and you need to reconstruct the initial set of vectors.
oh, and this you'll be given at most 500 vectors or so. Okay, and what is Misha's idea?
Misha's idea is that the solution is unique. So you can basically iterate over all possible vectors. There's not so many of them because the coordinates are at most 100.
But they have many dimensions as well, or not?
No, two-dimensional. No,
Ah, two-dimensional. Oh,
two-dimensional. Yeah.
okay.
So iterate over all possible vectors and try to like divide all your structure by this vector.
And what does it mean to divide?
He thinks about it like a polynomials, but it's easier for me to think about vectors.
So it's just subtracted from all.
You can describe it like a
Given
polynomial
points?
actually, of 2 variables.
No, but forget about polynomial. So we just subtract all this vector from all points that we have, and
No, not for all. If you need to implement it, you sort all vectors by the direction of this vector one, which you test.
yeah.
And you start from the end. The last vector should be some. Then you like decrease it and so on. Or you can start from another end and so on.
You decrease and what then?
Okay, so you sort all vectors by the scalar product of your vectors. So decrease in this direction. So you start from the first vector, like which has the lowest scalar product.
Okay.
Okay, this vector is not shifted.
Yes.
So you include it in your set and include another vector shifted by your vector.
Okay.
Sort it to your set, and so on. Go in this direction. If in the end you have nothing, then
so
it's easier. It's easier to make it on
I see. So
dimension.
basically, you have the smallest vector. If after addition the other vector is also in the set, then you remove both of them. If not, you replace it with that one and repeat, essentially.
Not replace. You just put it in your set. So
Yeah, and the old one you remove, right? So the smallest one you remove. So you replace the smallest one with the shifted one. If smallest one is A and current shift is S, you check if A plus S is in the set.
you're right.
And then if it kind of works, then then this vector was in the set.
Yep.
If this doesn't go to infinity, essentially, then this vector was in the set.
Yeah, when you reach the last vector in your set, you either get an empty set or you get something left. If you have something left, then something wasn't XORed, right? So I think it's worked like this. So, but I'm not sure why the solution is unique.
Yeah, we can implement. We still have time to wait for results. Or maybe, I don't know, you need to go, maybe, or...
If it's true, it might be easy to implement.
Yeah, let's try to implement it really quickly. Even though still the set can grow quite a lot. Oh no, it's just at most the same size, because we either replace or remove.
Yep.
Okay, let's try to implement really quickly. So... Okay. They're guaranteed to be all different.
This is the place where I prefer C++.
Sorry?
It's 200 square times 500. No, you know it will fit, okay. Even with hash sets.
But is it true that...
At some point I started to hate Java headsets and objects and stuff like this. I think it's in this problem it should be okay. Okay.
But now we just literally iterate over all possible vectors and answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, we should divide it until it's not divided, divisible. So it's like there can be several equal vectors in set, I think. Why not?
Can it?
I think we can.
Yeah, I guess we could. Okay. So for... And we started with 1 fox 0, 0, right? Okay. So, and
maybe it's nothing. So maybe it's when you have two same vectors, maybe it is the same as having one big vector.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter, I think.
But then the solution is not unique, right? So
yeah.
Wouldn't it cause problems for us if we shift by a small vector instead of a big one? And then we'll need to shift again.
Let's try.
Okay, let's try.
It's only one way to know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yes, so I guess what it means, it's for every vector from our set, we just repeatedly add this dx dy until we get another vector from our set, right? And remove those two.
What? No, I think we need to sort them in.
Initially, yes.
No.
Yeah, let's sort. Yeah.
But then you just iterate until you reach the yes.
vectors, and then we sort.
What's happening in the...
No, I guess they're waiting for the results. Okay, so here you say we sort by scalar product, right? Yeah, that will probably be too slow, but still. Speeding it up should be relatively trivial. So
Stream is offline. Oh, maybe I need to...
wait, what? Oh,
So stream is offline.
okay, Java is cool. Okay, so we sort, and now we have okay. Okay. Okay, then just remove all this. And
How do you do it?
and then
So
if
you
we
need
need to find,
both iterate and iterate and change. How do you...
yeah, I think I do it fine. And then here we say vectors equals new vectors, answer add new vector dx dy. I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so now we need to. Oh no, actually that's not true. I repeat. Ah, yeah, it's fine. For int I equals 0, I mean, res I times 2 equals answer get I x y. And it's guaranteed that the answer always exists, I guess, or not? Oh no, if there is no valid sequence. No. Okay, so I guess if
I need to check
vector
if
size is 1 and vectors iterator next equals new vector 0, 0,
yeah.
then we return this, otherwise we return -1. Yeah, that's probably too slow, but still. Too many Java objects. Yeah. Too slow on the...
But no, this doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, I forgot to shift, right? Oh no, I shift. Okay, let's...
How can it be so slow?
Okay, so... change max coordinate to 10. No, something wrong. Okay.
Can you show me that line when you check out it? X, y, minus. Yeah, it looks correct.
Okay, we are not in this loop. We are not in this loop. Okay, we are here. Also, vectors is wait, how can it be empty? Oh, I don't add anything to new vectors. Okay, and then empty can go forever. But still, no, I still don't get. So I still should finish in some time. But yeah, okay. So here we.
Well, actually, empty set is like 0. You can divide by 0 infinitely.
Why did it repeatedly? I forgot.
No, if empty set, you can divide it by any vector and do it infinitely. So it actually makes sense. If you have empty set,
yeah,
then it's always okay. You can divide it by any vector.
Yeah.
And still get an empty set.
New vectors and v. Okay.
This makes sense.
Okay, now it's fast, but it returns -1 in this case. Okay, so let's see what we got. So it could get to 10, 0, 8, 0, 7, 0. That's really weird.
Okay. It's strange. How can we get 10, 0?
Yeah, what happened to 0, 0? Where did it go? Oh, I guess if we start with -2, 0, then we get something weird like this, right? Instead of 2, 0. So at least it's not so unique.
Maybe something simple.
Maybe it is, but we're just missing something. Maybe we should just check if 0, 0 is one of the coordinates in the end.
No, it's
not continue, but break.
Sometimes it cannot contain even in the end. So we have two vectors 1, 0 and -1, 0. The sum will not contain 0, 0.
Oh, right, that's true. But maybe it's fine if the size is 1 in the end, and it doesn't matter which one, because we can shift. Oh no, no. We can, right? So. Can we have 0, 0 vector in the beginning? Or shift by 0, 0? Oh no, but then we get empty. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, not so simple. I think something like this can work. Yeah, okay, nothing about this solution in the chat. And nothing on the broadcast, or yeah, broadcast seems to be offline. Yes, they have a pretty big delay. Any questions on code forces? Now is a good time to check, but likely there are none. So yeah, basically, let's say we apply 5, 0. Then we can fold to 0, 0 to 0, 3, 0, or to 7, 0, 8, 0, 10, 0 if we apply minus 5, 0.
Maybe we can shift it. So we have, if you have two vectors like x, y, and minus x minus y, then the sum will be like 2x to y and... Oh, no.
No. So that's the thing. In all cases, 0, 0 is one of the vectors. Are you sure? How can we not have it? I think we always have 0, 0, no? Oh, no, you're right. 1, 0 and minus 1, 0. Then we don't.
Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. If you have two vectors like x, y, and minus x minus y, then the sum will contain these two vectors. So we can build a set of two symmetrical points.
What? Can you repeat?
If you have two vectors, x, y, and minus x minus y, so the sum will contain these two vectors. So we'll have two of these vectors and 0 twice. So maybe we can shift.
But still, even okay, so our solution just doesn't work. So in this case, how it's supposed to work? So it encounters 2, 0, and then it goes to everything cancels out, right? So then we get 0, 0, 3, 0, 8, 0. But this is already not a sum of 3, 0 and 5, 0, right? So 5, 0 should have appeared. And it didn't. So we want to go from this state, right, to the state 0, 3, 5, 8 after removing 2.
So can you show which vectors did we get in this case?
In this thing, I think it gets 7, 8, 10.
7.
But first of all, set of vectors is always a subset of a set of initial vectors, which doesn't seem right? I think it got 7, 8, 10 by removing 5, vector 5. Minus 5, 0, basically.
Maybe we can, because this vector is sum of 2 and 5, something like this.
Yes, so 5 should have a P.
If you have vectors 2 and 5, then this set will be divisible by 7.
So what if my set is 0, 2, 3, 5, right? And then I add 5. Then I get 0 is still there, right? So...
Oh, so sorry, I need to leave you right now. The university is closing. So.
Yeah, okay. I think something like this. This at least is correct-ish, but maybe it will now time out. Well, it's obviously will time out, but at least it should pass this test, no? No, still can't do it. Oh, I got one vector in the end. You're not here already? Okay. Fair enough. Now I'm left alone. Okay, now I built some answers. They're just not aligned correctly. Of course, probably it's too slow with 100 or not. Maybe not. So the thing is essentially what if the resulting vector is not 0, 0. What do we do? I guess we should shift all input vectors by the... No. That's not true as well. Yeah, not entirely clear. So the solution seems to be kind of working. The only thing is that, yeah, basically get this instead of this. So we move to some vector. I guess if we now need to invert some of the vectors in the answer to get to 0, 0, right? So from this vector, now we need to represent the answer as a sum of those, basically shift by some of those vectors to get to 0, 0. Okay, for that I guess we can run dp now. Oh, sorry, yeah, this one. Okay. Okay, this way we can get. Okay, so this is the vector we do need to get. So we can get it, then we'll reconstruct the answer. Otherwise, there is no solution as well. Okay, so now take which vector we use, then we reverse it. And then we remove it. And then we invert it. Okay. That seems to be it. Some DP in the end. Yeah, maybe this will not work, I don't know. Okay, so at least I return the same vectors but in different order. Yeah. Okay, let's try. Maybe it will time out. Yeah, most likely it will time out. But at least it passes examples. So maybe now we just need to speed it up a bit. Let's see. No. It failed pretty quickly on a simple test. 0, 0, minus 1, 1. Yeah, I guess we need to also know how to stop. Yeah, no, the solution is not good enough, because here we kind of... Yeah, I don't think this is correct. Okay, so I guess we're still waiting for the results, and my friend's already gone. Probably I should be gone as well. So, yeah, thanks all for watching, and congratulations to whoever won the contest.